happened to Kate?
Kate, your daughter?
That would be...
Did we lose
That
Kate?
makes sense. No, Princess Kate. I know what happened to Princess Kate. Do you want to know?
I don't follow all that stuff. I don't know. Are we doing a video about this right now?
I want to tell you, and I want you to listen, and I'm going to be right.
Well, I don't follow this very much. Let me just at least get comfortable. We're gonna do this.
What is that all about?
Oh, I just want to get comfortable.
USA. I don't get it.
Nothing. I'm just comfortable.
Well, if you're going to get comfortable, I'm getting comfortable.
Oh wait. If you're gonna...
I feel like we're against each other here.
No, I just want to be prepared. I want to get in my headspace. I don't know much about the royals, so I'm very thankful for George Washington not accepting the king of.
Well,
United States,
all I can say is I know that I'm right, and I can put money on it.
All right.
You.
$10.
$10 what?
$10 in cash if you're right.
Oh, are you going to give me your theory too?
I've got a theory. I have a theory. I don't follow this much, but I mean, you had to get me to watch Downton Abbey. You're into The Crown. You're into all this stuff, but
who's not?
Anyway,
I think everything that's out there about Kate, for the most part, is just blown way out of proportion. I literally think it is boring. The story is boring.
This is Princess Kate, the Duchess of Windsor.
Why did I think you were?
That's what she was.
Oh, okay.
And then Charles.
You're already right in the conversation.
But I don't follow any of this. I don't follow.
You're already correcting me.
Right. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, there's all these theories about like people getting either committing suicide or being killed, and the king now has cancer, and what else? All kinds of stuff. Photoshop pictures. And
that was kind of weird last week where they came back with the Photoshop pictures of, and then Kate coming out on her Instagram or Twitter and saying, "I'm an amateur photographer."
But you're not following it all.
I don't follow it. It's just I heard that through some people.
This is what happened, and I think the BBC is getting ready to release some information that they have. We will find out who's right. I think that Princess Kate had ulcerative colitis or Crohn's disease. And I think it's a pretty debilitating disease, and it gets worse over time. And eventually, a lot of people have to have surgery.
They do.
I think she had a scheduled abdominal surgery. I think she might have had over Christmas some emergency with it, and I think that
like a colonoscopy, and then they found something.
No. She was with her family at Christmas, and I think that she just had maybe a really bad flare-up, maybe diverticulitis, something like that, a flare-up with it, and that's why she had to go to the hospital through the ambulances. Anyway, and then I think they said, "Okay, Kate, you can't wait anymore for surgery," and so then they planned the abdominal surgery, hence a bowel resection, and as part of that, a lot of times you have a temporary colostomy bag.
Okay.
And usually those are about 12 to 16 weeks, and then they can be reversed. And that is a typical thing. And so I think that is exactly what the royal family has said, that she had a planned abdominal surgery and that she was going to be out till Easter. Now they're saying June. I think she potentially had a little bit of a complication, which is not unheard of also. And the reason why we haven't seen Princess Kate or the children is because...
In real pictures.
And this is why. Number one, she's recovering from a surgery. But number two, William is protecting her and her family. Because look what happened to Diana. We all know what happened to Diana, right? And so William, that's his family. And so he has sent them to one of their homes somewhere. I don't know where, because we don't know where, I'm guessing. And they are all holed up together, and her parents are there visiting and stuff like that. That's why nobody's been visiting at the hospital, because she's not there. She left right after surgery. She's been recovering at this home. We will see her eventually, but until then, it's none of our business.
I just want to make sure I understand. As the portion of your theory, you believe that she had the surgery on January 27th, that she was scheduled for 12 weeks of recovery, and because they had announced that she would be back for Easter services, and that minor complication setback has now just in the last couple of days pushed that back out to June, and you think it's more of a save face. So and because of that, you also think Will is the protector, the good man in this situation.
I'm desperately hopeful, but I do believe it too. But I'm very desperately hopeful that is what the case is, because I feel like she deserves that, and I feel like those children deserve that, and they also get to have their privacy as a family, and
they do.
And really, none of those, if that's what comes out to be true, none of that is a lie from the royal family, right? And
because the royal family's never been known to lie about situations.
I don't know. I haven't looked into any other situation. This is my theory about Princess Kate. And
since like King Henry VIII of the Tudor line, and then
we don't need to go back that far. Why would we do that?
And okay, let's go back to Queen Elizabeth's uncle, who abdicated the throne because he was a Nazi sympathizer.
But we all
and he
knew
wanted
that.
to marry his.
They all came out with all of that.
I mean, it was because he was dating someone who was divorced, and he didn't. He chose love over the crown, which, I mean, there's some, but it was also scandalous, right?
It was scandalous, but the royal family didn't lie about that when it came out.
But they've never lied. I mean, you've watched The Crown.
I mean, all we're talking about is when they've lied and when they've not. Yes, they've had scandals. Yes, I've watched The Crown, and we are really behind on The Crown.
Do you think that they had anything to do with Diana's death?
No.
Oh my gosh.
I don't.
Really?
No, I don't.
Okay.
And if I did, I wouldn't say it on camera right now that we're going to release.
Are you afraid of like the
No,
royal family coming down here?
I
Like
think
that Kyle and Jen, a couple of people that live in Kentucky, are breaking news stories on
my crown. No, I think that there was a bad car wreck because she was being followed by the paparazzi, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to that one too.
That's so cute. Okay, so
oh gosh, that was condescending.
No, it is. It's very
so cute.
It is very cute that you.
I believe the good in people the most.
And you don't believe in conspiracy theories usually.
Now, I really, really, really want to get to the crux of what made Harry and Meghan leave.
No,
But that's for a different story.
I don't think it is.
What do you mean?
I think I've figured it all out. I don't think it's all.
Oh, in the
tied together.
last 5 minutes while I've been
Well,
talking.
I don't follow this stuff, but I hear a lot of things. So.
And then you read, I'm sure.
And then I read, but I mean, I think I have a theory on it. It's not very complicated. It just is what it is. Okay. All right. I might have taken a couple of notes just to make sure that I knew what I was talking about. Okay, so this is Kyle's theory.
How long is Kyle's theory?
Well, I get paid by the word, so we will see. Okay. So here's my theory, and I heard this, and I know that you know that I have my sources. Okay. What's rule number one with the kids?
It's not my rule.
But what's rule number one with the kids?
His rule number one with the children is that Kyle knows everything.
Dad knows everything.
Yes.
And that if you mess around in town, or if you get in trouble, I'm going to find out about it, right? Mm-hmm. So I have connections, and maybe some of those connections go across the pond. I mean, I'm just saying. Anyway,
across the big pond.
Across the big pond, right? So this is what I heard. That it was Kate that had an affair.
Oh, come on. Okay.
But wait.
I'm listening.
But wait. After Will was caught cheating.
It's already so deep.
And it was Thomas Kingston, who was Pippa's ex-boyfriend. They broke up in 2011, 2012.
No way.
And who happens to also be Lady Gabriel's husband. And Lady Gabriel is the daughter of the Prince of Kent. And that would make her 52nd in line to the throne.
I feel like we need a flow chart.
We might have to, but it's pretty simple. Let me just try to explain all this, okay? So Kingston and Pippa are dating back in 2011, 2012. They break up.
That's the truth.
Yes. They break up.
That's the truth.
Allegedly because of his affairs, but they remained friends after that. They were cordial. And the interesting thing about the son-in-law of the Duke of Kent, Mr. Kingston, is that he was found dead on February 25th, 2024, which was just a couple of weeks. It's about 4 weeks after Kate had her planned abdominal surgery. So here's what went down. Are you ready?
I'm listening.
Okay, it's good. I'm gonna try to do this very quickly because I feel like
You're gonna lose me.
Yeah. William actually has an affair with an individual named Rose Hansberry. All right.
Okay.
Now, but things got a little embarrassing when Rose, whose full name is Sarah Rose Cholmondeley, and is the Marquise of Cholmondeley and wife of David Cholmondeley, the 7th Marquise of Cholmondeley.
Do we need to know all of that?
Well, you need to know it because Rose Hansberry and her husband were best friends with Kate.
Okay, that's what we need to know.
Okay. All right.
Are they royal? Is that royal?
They're not royal. They have titles.
Okay.
So they're connected to the family by friendship and ownership.
But they're best friends with Will and Kate.
Were. I'm going to explain why. She had a daughter 8 years ago. Okay. That daughter's name is Lady Iris Marina Aline Cholmondeley. And recently, after the Queen and Prince Philip's deaths, Rose went to King Charles.
Okay.
And when he named Camilla Queen, not Queen Consort, which was always the plan.
Which is what we thought was going to happen.
And exactly what Parliament allowed him to do, he changed that, made Camilla Queen, whereby changing the entire...
How can you just do that?
He's the King of England.
I thought Parliament had a higher role when it came to...
They do when it comes to the money, but you're still the King of England.
Yeah.
You own all the land there. I mean, it's kind of weird because they were both divorced, which also then under British law legitimized all of the illegitimate children that any of the royals may have. Okay? Lady Hansberry wants recognition for her daughter as third in line after Prince George and Prince Charlotte. Just by the way, Prince Charlotte is just 10 months older than Lady Iris.
Well, how does Lady Iris fit in the royal line?
Well, if Lady Iris is the daughter of Prince William.
So you think Lady Iris is the son of William?
The daughter of William,
The daughter of William? We keep saying son.
Yeah, is the daughter of William.
So that would have been 8 years ago. He was having an affair with Lady
Hansberry.
And
it's common knowledge that they did have a romantic affair, and that for some time Kate and William have been living their own separate lives. Very similar.
I don't believe that.
Very similar to because you want to believe in.
But
the
I mean,
romance
you watch them together.
Oh, they're great actors. Anyway, she wants after Prince George and after Princess Charlotte, she wants Lady Iris to be recognized as Princess Iris.
How does this have anything to do with?
I'm going to explain.
Okay.
Because if she becomes Princess Iris, they are then part of the royal family. Okay? And that would essentially make the entire family, the Cholmondeley family, now part of the bloodline in some senses. Charles confronted Will. Now here's where it gets funny. I believe that Charles confronted Will, but several years ago, perhaps around 4.5 years ago, Prince Harry confronted Will. Because the rumors... Prince Charles...
Oh, now we're bringing Harry in.
Yeah. 4.5 years ago, Prince Harry finds out about the baby.
How?
Well, because they're all friends. Everybody knows each other, right? This is a tight-knit group of people, right?
Yeah.
And so
maybe.
Prince Harry finds out from Meghan.
Oh, gosh.
Because Kate had found out that this is a potential that had happened. Kate and Pippa were originally friends with...
But Kate didn't like Meghan. Kate wouldn't have told Meghan.
They were. If you look at the very first photos of them together, they were very welcoming. They walked together in the
Maybe
processions.
Meghan told Kate.
Perhaps. But either way, Meghan definitely told Harry. Okay. And then that got them a proper shunning from
the family,
from the royal family. Now that's just a
Why
minor
would they
side
shun them?
piece.
Because they thought they would tell.
They thought they would tell because if this ever came out, Harry would know, and Harry...
I do think that it is kind of strange to me that Harry and Meghan moved over to the United States.
Well, and gave up all of their titles and gave up all of that, and then why would you do that unless there is some reason you're having a falling out? And nobody could ever point to what the falling out was.
Why wouldn't Harry and Meghan have told what the reason is if they're doing all these tell-all Netflix series?
Because that's all part of the ruse. Because they're still receiving a stipend But
even though they said that they're not getting a penny,
yeah, they're still
maybe they are getting some money.
they're still receiving a stipend, and they would not ruin their good names. Let them go to America, where all good things that British people want to happen in America, right? Because
land of the free, home of the brave.
we fought a whole war over it, right? Charles, infuriated, confronts Will. Will does not deny it. Charles, knowing that he has messed up the royal bloodline with Camilla, demands a DNA test.
He wouldn't. He would say,
it's not 1614. You have to find out.
I don't believe your story, but I'm giving you
right. So late in the fall.
Okay.
All right. After she has approached, Lady Hansberry has approached.
2023, fall 2023.
Fall 2023.
Okay.
I would say probably September of 2023. This all comes out that Lady Iris is indeed William's daughter.
Okay.
His third born.
Okay.
Okay. That would make her third in line. Louis would be now fourth in line. Okay. I don't know all the kids' names, so you have to help me. I haven't done much research on this. Okay. So, but here's where Charles really gets upset, because Lady Iris was actually named after Lady Iris Victoria Beatrice Kemp, who was Queen Victoria's youngest great-grandchild. She died in 1982, and she was the last bloodline to carry the Mountbatten name. Now, anybody that's watched The Crown, I've just caught a little bit of what you've watched, but everyone knows that the Mountbatten name was changed just prior to World War II, because being German, which is where Mountbatten comes from, would be a bad look. Yeah. So, but Lady Iris, who was beloved by the family, she was the great aunt, although Will never truly knew his Aunt Iris, but to give her the honor, Will actually named the child. You
really think so?
Lady Iris is a very unique name.
Far.
I'm not even halfway there.
I know.
Okay. So
my story was 3 parts.
I know. Well, and that's so cute that you think life is simple with the royals, but I think this is probably more likely. Okay. So they named the baby Lady Iris. Okay. Right. Charles is now upset because he doesn't want to deal with this, and he doesn't want to have all of the illegitimate children now legitimized. And because Will and Rose knew the baby had a royal bloodline, William named it after his great aunt, who, by the way, was also the last person to carry the name Mountbatten. Anyway, when the family was briefed, Kate was beside herself, but not why you would think. Will and Kate have essentially been living their own personal lives outside of the spotlight. I know you don't believe that, but that's just what my sources say, right?
Keep going.
And so Kate had agreed to the arrangement so long as Will did not cause her family embarrassment or replace her or her children with another in the line of succession.
Except for Louis.
That's why she's upset.
Okay.
And then, of course...
That would not be the only reason.
Well, that would not be the only reason, but at this point, I think Kate's probably concerned for her life.
But why?
Because...
she's the mother of the heir.
Yeah, so was Princess Diana. So anyway, even though they agreed to this, now Will's dalliances, as we'll call them, have become at least public within the palace.
Don't believe it.
They could come out.
Okay.
So, Kate and Pippa launch a plan. Okay?
I feel like this is like a murder mystery kind of thing.
Oh, this is a 10-part series right here. And you heard it here first. And I'm going to be right about this, even though I've really not done a bunch of research. So Kate and Pippa hatched a plan to get some, what we would call royal payback, in the form that they were going to conspire to get Kate pregnant by someone that Will absolutely hated.
You think that's why she's been in? Okay, keep going.
I got to keep going.
Keep going.
All right. The person that Will hated the most is a guy by the name of, wait for it, Thomas Kingston. Okay? But then, this is where it gets even more juicy. I haven't even started the incredibly juicy
we have not gotten to Kate at all.
So, we're getting to Kate, all right? Will hated Kingston because he was a wealthy financier and actually brought in more money than William and Kate do, because Will and Kate's money and all of the royals' money is controlled by Parliament.
Right.
They are essentially a welfare state. What they receive is what is given to them. And that Kingston actually taunted Will on a regular basis, He was 45. He was incredibly rich. He was one of the most powerful financiers, and now he's married to a princess, and he just really gave it to Will, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he actually accuses Will of being a welfare child, the actual terminology he used.
Anyway.
So Kingston hated Will just as much, though. So it was mutual animosity. So here's the very interesting part. In 2008, Parliament, through the Queen, demanded that Prince Michael and his family pay the full asking price of their portion of Kensington Palace.
Okay.
Kensington Palace is where Princess Gabriella and her family had lived for the first 27 years of her life. Right? Even when she was going to Oxford, that's where her family lived. Right?
I thought Will and Kate lived in Kensington Palace.
So in 2011, Kate and Will moved to, after they were married, Kensington Palace. After the ultimatum was given.
They just paid it off or whatever.
But they knew they didn't have the money because they don't, you only have so much money.
So they kicked them out of the house.
So they essentially were like foreclosed upon, like they were kicked out of the palace, right?
By the Queen.
By Parliament, but it was done by the Queen, right? Because at the time they kicked them out, Will had started dating Kate, and Will had said that Kate was going to be.
So you're building the animosity. You're building the
So Thomas and Michael, Thomas being Kingston, the husband, and Michael being his father-in-law,
right,
had been plotting to actually return to Kensington, and quite literally having Kate and Will removed, because obviously he had the money now to be able to pay for that portion. And just before they made move on that, and before a really public confrontation, Kate and Will moved in 2017, 18, 2020. I take it back, 2020, to a little place called Adelaide Cottage, which you have heard them talk about.
Maybe that's where she is right now.
No, because they left Adelaide Cottage in 2022 when the Queen passed.
Okay.
Moved to Windsor Castle. I'm sorry, I apologize.
I was going to say Windsor.
Yeah, so they moved to Windsor Castle. They moved to Windsor Castle, so there's not that issue. Animosity on both sides. Now, so Kate and Pippa, who had remained very close with Thomas, they grew up with Thomas and his family. Her and Will had not had any type of relations for some time during the month of October and November. And in fact...
Oh, I'm sure you know those details.
I have sources, all right? This is what I'm telling you. I don't follow this stuff. I don't know anything about it. But what happens is Kate realizes that the new royal doctor, the previous royal doctor retired when the Queen died. Prince Charles brought his doctor in as the new royal doctor. He's able to determine... Both traveled to a Channel Isle called Sark. Channel Isle is an island in between France and England, in the English Channel.
Never heard of it.
Around the middle of November to visit Thomas's parents. They were having a wedding anniversary party. Okay? So they travel there, and during that event, the plan had paid off finally, as Kate had finally gotten her royal revenge, if you will. But it resulted, this affair, I'm sorry, I think this is... So, Kingston and Kate, the Princess of Wales, have now conceived a child.
Oh, come on.
Yes. So around Christmas and New Year's...
You think she found out?
Kate had known for a couple of weeks.
Okay.
Probably around the 1st of December, that she was pregnant, and told...
So the plot is unfolding.
Oh, the plot is unfolding at this point. At the exact same time, we find out that Prince Charles has some form of cancer.
Right. Maybe.
Kate is telling the King and Queen and Will that she is pregnant by Thomas Kingston.
She wouldn't have told them that. She would have...
So let me tell you why.
She would not have told...
So at this point, she knows that within 2 or 3 weeks of when the child was conceived, she has to then go, even though her doctor...
So she's looking at her calendar.
And 2 of the weeks, the week that she was on the Isle of Sark, Prince William is not even in England, right? So they're not even together for those 2 weeks. So she knows it's going to come out. So she goes and tells them what's happening, okay? So to recap, Will has had a baby with Rose Hansberry.
Iris.
Iris is the name of the baby, who's 8 years old right now.
Okay.
Kate, who has just found out about this just a few weeks prior, has now become pregnant with Thomas Kingston's baby.
Okay.
Thomas Kingston, who used to date Pippa and is now Princess Gabriella's husband.
Okay.
Now.
And Iris's dad?
And Iris. No. Iris is Hansberry.
Oh, that's
They're not
right.
royal.
Sorry.
Kingston and Princess Gabriella have no children.
Okay.
They were married in 2020, and they were married 4 years together, 6.
Pepper doesn't agree.
Yeah, Pepper doesn't agree with my story.
It wasn't that late in January.
In January, as soon as they could arrange all this, Kate goes to the hospital to have a termination of her pregnancy. Okay.
Goodness.
But here's the deal: Kate is not. She's not keen. She does not believe in it. She's a strong Protestant. She does not believe in the abortion. But it's against her will, and it's against her values.
Okay.
But she has to do this because she genuinely fears for herself at this time, because this is still one of the most powerful families in the world.
Okay.
But things got a little difficult when they were in there. They found a cyst while they were in there.
You have a lot of factors that have to line up for this story to be accurate.
I don't know much about any of this. This is just what my sources have told me.
Yes, sources.
So they wanted to do so that they wouldn't have to keep going back and forth. And Kate's body reacted to the anesthesia and the long sedation that she was under, because Kate doesn't handle anesthesia well. It's a little hidden fact. Kate Middleton has...
You know so much about her.
Kate Middleton has had all 3 children naturally and without any pain medications, without an epidural, everything.
Is that a requirement of the royal family?
Boss. No, but it's because of her allergic reaction that she's had before.
Okay.
So she's a boss, though.
Okay.
Anybody that does that, right? And then like 4 hours later, it's like outside in like a dressing gown and heels, right?
Pantyhose.
They have pantyhose, and it's just like, baby.
I know.
Right? So, I mean, I feel like this...
Hair like blow out.
I feel like this woman is just a pawn in this bigger scheme of things. And she didn't find out till she was already part of it. So
she's in the hospital for surgery.
the royal doctor, who is new, I told you, apparently didn't know this and sedated her for a prolonged period of time, which resulted in her slipping into a coma. Short time period, she recovered from it. However, Thomas Kingston, when she slips into the coma right after the accident, or the surgery, Thomas Kingston is notified by Pippa.
The father of the baby.
Father of the baby is notified by Pippa that she's actually having of his child.
Oh my gosh.
And so Kingston finds out about this botched abdominal surgery, and he goes to the royal hospital and to the royal suite of the hospital, where only Will and Camilla are. Because
nobody else went.
Nobody else went. Pippa tells Kingston, not only are they terminating the baby, I don't believe this was a botched surgery. I think they're trying to kill my sister.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness.
So Kingston shows up in the royal suite and announces that he was going to the Daily Mail because the royals had murdered his own prince. Again, I wasn't there. I don't know much. I haven't studied any of this.
If that happened.
So.
Oh my goodness, if that happened.
So that
happened.
Yeah, so that was bad. But what gets worse is on February 25th, 2024, Kingston arrives at his parents' main home in Gloucester. Okay. That's where their main. Remember, they have that vacation home in Stark, but this is where they were, and he was there to spill the proverbial beans and to tell them that he felt he was in danger and that they might be in danger too. So they have lunch. Right. This is again from what my sources told me. They have lunch. Kingston's father takes their dog for a 30-minute walk. It's a standard poodle. I know that would make you happy. And when he returned, he couldn't find Thomas in the home anywhere, the main home. A few minutes later, Kingston's mother places an emergency phone call saying that she had found Thomas unresponsive and apparently dead.
And that's something that we do see in the news. They did find him dead by apparent suicide.
Well, originally it came out that it was a massive head trauma.
Oh.
And so what was the royal coroner, who would be like the coroner for anybody dealing with anybody somewhat related to the royal family, declares that there's no foul play, that nothing happened, but the royal coroner never saw the body.
How can they even make a call then?
It's England. I mean, he's the king. So, never saw the body, declared that he committed suicide at 45 as one of the richest and youngest financiers in all of England, who is literally married to a princess. But he killed himself. So
at his parents' house.
At his parents' house that he was just visiting.
At his parents' house.
At his parents' house. There was no party. There was nothing else.
Okay, that's weird.
So Buckingham Palace announces 2 days after his death that Kingston died.
Well, you know.
Yeah, well, 2 days, and they send their condolences to his family, which I thought was very nice of them, except for the fact that on the 28th, that's when the coroner's report came out, right?
Okay.
On the 29th, the Gloucester coroner, who is a very nice lady.
And the one who probably found him at his parents' house.
Right. She also must have a little bit of Kyle Thompson. I don't really give a who is corrupt. I'm going to call you out kind of thing. Reopens an inquiry into the death because, as she said, Michael Kingston's death was likely a homicide.
Ooh,
because I
didn't hear that report.
He was killed by shotgun. That was the traumatic head trauma. And he was killed...
like Kurt Cobain style?
No,
shotgun?
Even worse. Execution style to the back of the head.
Oh my goodness.
So it's like...
yeah, I don't think
Clinton
you can
style,
do that.
Right? So they've reopened it, believing that he may have been murdered.
Is it really? Is it still open?
It's still open at this point. So here's where we are at this point. All right.
The dogs did not like that.
Yeah, the dogs do not like what we're saying here. But what you have is Will having a child out of wedlock with a married woman.
8 years ago.
8 years ago, who were best friends with Kate and Will.
They play like games together.
They would like have a game night and stuff.
Date.
Yeah, double dates and all that stuff. Right. And that family was invited to the 70th, Jubilee, and the when she passed away. She's at when Prince
Harry?
Philip died.
Philip.
They're at all the funerals and everything. They're always seen sitting together. But in the last photos, you see them at a funeral together, which was in the end of 23. You can see that Kate Middleton says something to Rose Hansberry, and Rose Hansberry is none too happy with what happened, what was said. So Kate was kind of...
Did they have a falling out?
They had a major falling out. So,
okay.
Because Kate at this point is concerned that she is in danger herself because William's father, in my opinion, had his first wife killed and then married Camilla, his 30-year mistress, and then made her queen, not queen consort. So everything... Broke the rules. And all these things that we hear about Will, about being a good leader and all these other things, that in reality, the only one of the group that had any morals or scruples was Harry and Meghan. And Meghan found out all of this about the potential
and so
child.
They just left.
And they just left.
Did they leave on their own or were they kicked out?
They were forced out. Kate had spilled the beans about the potential child, and then...
that makes sense because she did act like she left her whole world and moved there.
And then Meghan tells Harry, just like you would tell me if you had, a secret, we'd tell each other everything, right? So at that point, they, have to leave go to...
And that's like crazy information. If that's really what happened, it's not just something that can just be like swept under the rug.
No, because now you have a third in line royal
child,
blood princess,
another heir
and now you have a whole other
complicated.
family that's come into this picture. Kingston, they don't have any children, but Kingston was the father of Kate's child, which would have been another illegitimized child.
I mean, I would almost believe it if it wasn't like the Kate going out for like vengeance kind of thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Because when you all were friends in uni, you knew her.
University.
Well, they call it uni in England.
No, I just don't think like one thing fixes another.
And
it makes the story a little bit more far-fetched. Like, if Will had just gone and had an affair and had an illegitimate child who was now going to be the heir, that's one thing. But then to have the whole thing...
Do you think Kate's going to accept that child?
No, but that doesn't mean Kate would turn around and go and try to get pregnant herself. And
you've watched The Crown, right?
Yes.
And
well, we're only on season 1 still.
But we know. But we know the history of the royal family to an extent that.
So you think that's your story? You think Kate is
my story is that
Kate's recovering.
Kate's recovering at this point
from a botched
abortion and
surgery where she might have been tried. She might have tried to poison her with the anesthesia.
Right. And so we have a child between Hansberry and
think
Will.
that through.
We have a potential child with Kingston and Kate.
Why would they hurt Kate though? Because they were afraid that she would tell about the child. I mean, why would they hurt Kate?
If anybody finds out that she had an abortion, she's going to have to explain that. Especially someone who has adamantly opposed it in the past. And then, what if Will does break up with her, or they have a divorce or whatever, which she can't. I mean, he's going to kill her one way or the other, right? And then if she does go to the newspapers or write a book or whatever else, she's going to spill the beans. She's going to spill the beans. And the one thing the royals are great at is
keeping information,
but not handling crises good, right?
They do not.
Like Prince Andrew. This whole thing with Prince Andrew, just didn't handle it at all, right? Didn't handle it well at all.
They just exiled him, right?
Yeah, like to Elba or something. It's like they're like, right, you shall never,
never set foot on
royal.
Except he came back one time
for the funeral.
But
the reality is though that what's more far fetched, that she has
your story.
Okay, so mine's far fetched, but what's more likely considering the history of these people?
But this is what happens when people are not given information. Royal family, I'm talking to you. Because people's imaginations can run wild.
You think mine's imagination?
I think
so cute.
But I'm a no-nonsense, logical thinker.
Right. You also don't believe in conspiracies, and you don't believe that people are inherently evil.
Okay, well, that's my perspective then. But everything makes sense that it was the way that I said it was.
Everything makes sense the way that it was the way that I said it was too. We have a child.
But there's so many things that had to have happened.
Right. But that's how scandals happen, right? Scandal. I'm just saying that
means everybody has to be bad. Like in my story, nobody has to be a bad person.
Oh, I know.
In your story, though, everybody does.
Everybody.
The king, Will, Kate, Pippa, Gabriella, Kingston, Thomas.
Yeah, really, the only one Gabriella's the only one that is not bad.
And Harry.
And Meghan. Yeah.
I mean, that means all of them are bad people.
Yeah.
Or made bad decisions. There's not bad people. They made bad decisions.
Right, but I mean, let's just go back 500 years to,
Okay, let's just look at the history.
King Henry VIII.
Kate's 41. There's been no history of her doing anything off color. Or William.
You don't think the way they treated Harry and Meghan was off color? That's his brother.
We don't really know what happened.
We do. I'm telling you. I know. I'm telling you what happened. This is what happened.
Okay.
And so you have your theory.
And I have my crown.
And I have my theory. And this is why I'm so thankful that George Washington did not accept the royal crown here in the United States, because we'd have all of this nonsense going on.
Who has time for it? Anybody got time for that?
The British people, apparently. They love this stuff.
I love the tea.
This is the tea right here. This is our afternoon tea. And we're spilling it.
Yeah.
Wait, are we in danger now?
I don't know.
Maybe we should just cut it off here. I don't know. I mean, it's like...
Yeah, I think that's your theory, my theory.
We have a bet.
When are you going to give me my $10?
BBC's going to report something in 24 hours.
Or around then. I'm the winner.
I'm just saying. You asked me what happened to Kate, and I don't follow this stuff, but this is my theory.
What happens if we're both wrong a little bit? Who wins the money?
I guess give it to our daughters because that's what we do with all of our money anyway, right? I will say that you were a little upset that Olivia didn't have one of her crowns here.
I know. Olivia has like real crowns, and I went in and she has them all with her. So,
and when you told me you wanted to make a video about the royals, I had to make sure that we had all the
no loyalty
none
to Britain.
None. I mean, they always enjoy your Insurrection Day, peasants, on July 4th. They
Really?
I mean, they act like they like us. But look, the royal family's corrupt, right?
Oh,
from top to bottom.
Oh gosh.
Name me a generation that hasn't been corrupt.
I don't know. We're not talking about any other generation.
So in this particular case, I think multiple children were conceived out of wedlock.
My brain doesn't even go there.
And I think that they messed up when they killed Kingston. Kingston would have stayed quiet, but
You think he would? They could have paid him off. He had all the money in the world.
Yeah, let him move back into Kensington Palace.
That's all he wanted.
Maybe that was what he asked for.
He did have collateral on him, or what do you call that?
Yeah, I mean, he did have the tea to be able to spill on him, right?
Sounds like a lot of people did.
Yeah. Well, at least my sources probably did.
Oh gosh, I hope you're. I like when you're right, but I hope you're not right on this one.
This is a long one that we've done, but I'm telling you, I think it's. I mean, this is a 10-part Netflix series. I'm happy to work with, say, Chris Easterly or somebody to be able to develop this.
Can I wear the crown?
You could wear the crown. I mean, they'll be. You kind of look like Princess Gabriella. She's gorgeous and blonde and tall, and they get like bonus points for that. Mm-hmm. So next time we'll talk about something that I know something about. I didn't know much about this.
I like that you brought a theory to the table, though.
It's not a theory. When this is right, I don't want everyone reposting this because I will be afraid for our safety. Because there's enough people in town that probably want to take us out. So it's like why add the royal family to that, right?
Yeah, why are we even talking about this?
You started it. You wanted
I
to.
know, because I'm so right. You're always right.
But you thought I was gonna like turn around and say like, okay,
I thought you were gonna say that's a very good theory.
It is a good theory.
Oh my gosh, I'm done with you.
Bye.